Hi, this is Matt Renfro. Welcome to my Google Classroom tutorial. This presentation is intended for all current and future educators seeking to utilize digital tools in their classroom. Google Apps for Education are common in my district. Every teacher has been assigned a Google App for Education account, or what they call a GAF account. But whether you have a GAF account or your own personal Google account, it doesn't matter. You can still use Google App for Education like Google Classroom. The only difference is a GAF account has more storage space. The Google Classroom is a fantastic tool for both you and your students. So many instructors in my district do not utilize their GAF account. I want to showcase one of the apps that they're missing out on, Google Classroom. It not only provides an online forum for you and your students to communicate, but it serves as a paperless inbox for assignments, which is awesome. It's something that's both eco and teacher friendly. So I hope to convince you that Google Classroom can not only enrich your classroom, but also help sharpen 21st century skills for your students and ultimately make your life easier as an instructor. So let me show you what I mean. I want to show you how to just create a basic Google Classroom and at least two of the really cool features that it offers. So the first thing we want to do is go to a new Google page. So we have a Google tab here. Make sure you're signed into some type of Google account. Click on our waffle grid and we're going to click on Classroom. Now, if you're new to Google Classroom, you've never joined or created one, the screen that's going to pop up here will be blank for you. All right, these are all the classes that I have either created or I have joined. And so this is where they are stored. As soon as you click on Google Classroom, they will pop up here for you. But if you don't have any, this will be blank. So this is where both you and your students will go, whether you're creating or joining a class. This plus sign up here, you'll click on this. If they're your students, they're going to want to click Join Class. They want to join the class you created, they click that, and they're going to be prompted to put in a class code, and that will be provided to you through your Google Classroom. So that's how students will join. But let me show you how to create. We're just going to click Create Class. You have a number of options here of how you want to title your class. We're just going to call this English 2. I can put a section, I can put another subject, I can put my room number, but we're just going to leave English 2 and we're going to click Create. Now, what's great is at the end of the year, if you want to get rid of this class because you're going to start a new one next year, you can archive it. It doesn't have to just be deleted. You can archive the class and you can access those archives at any time and actually pull up assignments from the past number of years ago that students submitted to you through Google Classroom should you ever want to go back and retrieve any student work. So here we are in the Google Classroom. If you want to customize your background, which you probably do, because if you don't teach English, you may not want books in the background. You can either upload your own photo, you can select a theme that Google provides here for you. There's a number of options here depending on your content. I'm going to stick with the book theme since I'm English. I'm going to select that, and it'll change it to that. The screen that we're looking at here is just the streaming page. This is the home page that students will see when they open up Google Classroom. Google Classroom is not terribly complex. There's only 3 tabs. But this is where you'll just make general announcements. You can make upcoming announcements here. You want to share something with your class. This is just a general way for you to make announcements to your class. If you're wanting to assign work, however, we want to click on classwork. 2 things you can do here that I like to utilize. We click on Create. You can create a question. So you want to have students respond to a text or a passage or what have you. You can either type the question in here. You could write it on a doc, type it on a Google Doc, a Microsoft Word document. I prefer Google Docs, and you'll see why here in a moment. And you can link it that way. You can URL links, video links, Google Drive, upload from the computer. However you want to link your document that you want them to look at, we would just use these icons down here. You could type your question, point values, due dates. I'll get to those in a moment. But you can toggle here whether students can reply to each other or not, which is a great tool here, getting them ready for the 21st century, especially with online learning. You can allow them to reply to each other. You can allow them to edit the answer if you want. So a number of options here you can do to get students to communicate and collaborate here by assigning some type of question. What I want to show you in more in depth is this creating an assignment, specifically an essay. So we'll just title this essay. We've got a title for it. I can give them instructions like you should write, right? Bad instructions here, but this is a tutorial. I can change the point value if I want. Due dates. We all use due dates. It's really good to put it into Google Classroom, and I'll show you why. You can make the time optional. Let's make it 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, when students turn in their assignments to you online, there's no guessing on your point and from your perspective of when did they turn this in. If it's past the due date that you have set, everything is time stamped. And if they submit something post the due date, you will be notified. It will say turned in late, and it will even give you the exact date and time. So you can see not only if they were late, how late were they. So this is a great tool here. Now, if you use Google Docs to create your assignment, let's say you want them to write a couple paragraphs about something or even a full essay, you can create a doc for them that either has the prompt on there or maybe it's just blank. But let me show you why this is so great. So we'll attach this assignment here. It's created on a Google Doc. Actually, we're going to assign that one. We're going to click Add. So here it is. Now, right now, if students click on this, they can read the prompt, but then they would have to go and create their own document, write their answer, go to the classroom, find the assignment, go to the inbox, and turn it in. Now, this is a process that I can get my high school students used to, but younger students who are not familiar so much with technology and specifically Google Classroom, we may need to make it a little bit more accessible to them. So let me show you a great feature. If we click on this, right now the students can only view the file, but if we click make a copy for each student and hit assign, that will create an individualized assignment sheet for each student that they can turn in very easily to the instructor, and I'll show you how in just a second. I want to also show you that if you have multiple classes, let's say you have 5 classes and you want this assignment for all classes, but you don't want to do this 5 times, you just click up here for 4 English 2, and you can click on however many classes you want to assign this to. You will have to create those classes individually, but the assignment you can just copy to as many classes as you like. So when you make a copy for each student, let me show you what that looks like from a student perspective. I've joined a colleague of mine's world geography class, and he has an assignment here where he did that option I just showed you. And you can see now that this document now has my name on it. It's created specifically for me. I click on it. Here's my assignment. It's a physical geography. And now I can start typing right here on this document. Maybe this document's blank and you want them to create everything on the page, or maybe you want to leave the prompt. In any case, if it's created for them, now, instead of going back into the Google Classroom, finding the inbox, turning it in, all I have to do once I'm done with my work as a student is click Turn In. And it's going to ask me, do I really want to do that? And I'm going to turn it in. And now my assignment has been turned in, and that's all I have to do as a student. This is a really cool feature. As a teacher, then it will come up in if you go to classwork, whatever you've assigned, if you just click on it, you can see how many have been turned in and how many it's still assigned to. You can click on turned in, and this is where you will see all of the students who've turned it in. You can put in the grade points, what they got, and then you can see who has not turned it in. It says missing. All right, so that's what the grade book looks like there. So you just click on whatever you've assigned and you can access your students' work. You can read it right there online. There's no more carrying around 130 essays at a time anymore, or you forgot your book bag in the car and now you can't get to your grades, your papers you want to grade. You can access these papers anywhere that you have internet access to. So that is really, really, really great for someone who has to grade a lot of papers with written assignments. So those are the 2 features that I really wanted to show you about on Google Classroom. You can create experiences for the learners to make positive, socially responsible contributions via the collaboration part here on Google Classroom. So that all ties to ISTE Standard 3A. And by doing this, we're exploring and applying instructional design principles, creating innovative digital learning environments that engage and support learning by using Google Classroom, which is ISTE Standard 5C. So, Google Classroom, it's awesome. You should check it out. Thanks for joining me.